These are the 8 things I wish I would have known when I started making videos. This will just make your whole video making career significantly easier if you put this stuff in your brain and acknowledge it and utilize it. Also, video sponsored by Squarespace. Number 8 and number 7 are both about revisions because let's be honest, nobody likes them. Nobody likes revisions. Your clients don't even like revisions. They would much rather just not have to give you revisions. They want the video to be perfect on cut 1, just like you want it to be perfect on cut 1. Nobody wants to do these things. So keep that in mind, you know? They're probably gonna happen, but know that as much as you don't wanna do them, your clients don't wanna do them. Number 8, when it comes to revisions, charge for them. Charge for the rounds of them. Not necessarily round 1, even maybe round 2 of revisions, you could include just in the price of the video, right? But round 3, round 4, there needs to be a fee if the revision rounds keep going that long. Because I have never created a video or seen a video created by any of my freelance friends where the edits being requested in revision round 3 couldn't have just been requested in 2. What happens is clients think big picture first. They're really trying to get the big picture locked in on revision round 1, which is great. That's what we want. Big picture stuff is good. Revision round 2, big picture's locked. Now maybe they start focusing on a couple more details, right? But they leave out all of this like fine-tuning little nitty-gritty stuff that we don't like to do as editors until 3 or 4 or whatever, just because that option's available to them. So what we do is if we charge for revision round 3, then it just signals to the client, oh, okay, we gotta get all of the revisions done in this round. Again, it saves time. It ends up saving them money because now they're getting the revisions done quicker, and it saves you the hassle of having to do another round of revisions. Charge for revisions, all right? $100, $200, $500. Just have it right there in the notes of the video edit, 3-minute video edit, revision rounds 1 and 2 included, revision round 3 plus charged at $250 per round, something like that. All right, right there in the contract, right from the beginning. Number 7, and this one is nearly impossible to implement, but if you do this, A, it makes you more of a professional. I think it makes you, I think it makes your clients respect and trust you a lot more, but B, it saves you a ton of hassle on the revisions. That is no text thread bullet point revision rounds, okay? No, you send the video to the client, they watch it, they send their revisions back. No text-based revisions. If you can sit with your client and watch a video with them, make them explain revisions that they're requesting to you, make them explain the rationale behind why they want you to make whatever change they're telling you to make, you can position yourself much more as an expert, just like we all want. Like, so often when you get a revision request, you're like, why would we do that? That is a bad video edit. Like, that is a bad idea. Why would we do it? So if you can ask why and then have a conversation with the client, it ends up giving the video its best chance to be in its purest form, right? To do what we know as video makers it should be doing, instead of just us trying to fulfill these requests of clients who may or may not know exactly how videos perform or what's gonna work the best. So in person or be on Zoom with them as they're watching your videos, but if you can take the extra time and effort and make your clients, again, take the extra time and effort required to do in-person revisions, everybody gets on the same page a lot faster and it sets you up as a professional. In-person revision rounds. Shifting gears, number 6, top and tail editing. I just did a whole video on this. I'll put it in a card. If you're not using this style of editing, which works in Resolve, Premiere, and Final Cut, whatever you're using, you need to be using this style of editing. It is significantly faster. I've cut hundreds of videos not this way and hundreds of videos using top and tail. And top and tail is the fastest, most efficient way to get to your locked A-roll timeline, to get through all of your footage. So top and tail editing, use it. It's fast, it's better. You're gonna love it. Number 5, this is very foundational. This is fundamental. When I started out, as most of us are, I was obsessed with fancy, right? I was obsessed with how did they get that effect? How did you do that crazy time lapse? Where did that transition come from? All of the text, the text is on it, look at it, it did a cool thing. Obsessed with those fancy tricks and edits, and don't get me wrong, there's a place for that stuff. But the crux, the foundation, the beauty of editing is actually extremely simple. It's something that anybody can technically do with just maybe an hour of training, or someone sitting next to them saying, press this button to trim the start off of this clip. Press this button to trim the end off. This is how you drag B-roll up on top of your main timeline. Those sort of things like flow, pacing of a video, B-roll that really drives the visual vibe of a story. Those simple things are the most important piece of video editing. And if you can, at least for the time being, really try to stay away from any fancy tricks, and also try to encourage your clients to stay away from fancy editing tricks and focus on actual, solid, simple video edits that drive a message, you're gonna become a much more solid video editor. You're gonna make way more solid videos, and your clients are gonna be happier. You're gonna get like all of the stuff that happens when you're a good video editor and video maker. Mess around with all the fun fancy tricks and stuff and have a blast, but remember to keep the first thing the first thing. Like I said, the video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is your all-in-one, one-stop shop for creating a website on the internet. You don't need to know how to code, and you get to use these very professional templates that just make you look extremely professional, showcase your portfolio right on a website. Very fast, very efficient way to create websites. That's why I love it. Bunch of integrations so you can sell stuff right on your website. You can schedule appointments through a Squarespace website, host your portfolio there, start a blog to be able to grow your brand even more. Anything you need to do with a website as a video freelancer, you can do with a Squarespace site. If you want to try it out, go to squarespace.com/CodyWarner, and then when you're ready to buy, use the code CodyWarner to get 10% off your first purchase. Number 4, this is something I didn't learn until maybe 2 years ago. And again, adds a little bit of time to the beginning of your work with a client, but it's one of the best ways to increase your rates, which is something that I'm always trying to get video freelancers to do. Have an intake questionnaire, something formal that ideally you're walking a client through, asking them the questions that kind of seem like second nature to you, but get your client thinking about the power of video and how they're gonna use video in their marketing and messaging and that sort of thing. If you can get them to get the answers to those questions on paper, and probably I should like make one of these, I should make a template of this and put it, check the description for that to see if I did that yet. That's gonna set you up for A, being able to raise your rates quicker, A, being able to charge what you know you're worth, but B, also from the very beginning, position yourself as the expert so they're not asking you to do things that you know are not the best thing to do in video. Intake questionnaire, crucial. Number three, this may not come as a surprise to you. I strongly feel that you should be making videos on YouTube that are gonna live and breathe on YouTube. A bunch of different reasons. One is you're kind of hosting a portfolio on a social media site that doesn't really feel like a social media site, that kind of gets searched forever. It can be a really good way to get yourself in front of people, to build trust with people before you end up working with them. But on the other side, just having to make a quantity of videos, to make more videos than just the videos you're making for your clients, is so good for your own well-being and your own skill and ability. So highly recommend you making videos on YouTube. I just think it's a slam dunk on both sides of the equation. Number 2, use as many apps as you need to use to shorten and make more efficient your editing workflow. Recently did a video on Descript, which if you're a Word person, if you like editing transcripts as opposed to editing visually, fantastic. A different app called Recut that I started using on every single video that just saves so much time cutting out the dead space in your video, like hours. It saved me hours. I've been using it for a month. It's insane. Whatever apps you can use to make your workflow as efficient as possible and make you feel like you're cheating, make you feel like you're cutting out big portions of stuff that you didn't like to do in the first place, that stuff makes this whole thing like feel a lot better to you. And I think you end up making better videos because you get to focus on the stuff that you like doing more, which leads in to number 1, and that is get to the point where you can do the main stuff that you like to do as soon as possible, and someone else or some other program can do the stuff that you don't like to do as much. So like maybe you're a fine-tuning person. You like to, like, once the video is almost done, you like to go in and just make these little fine-tuned tweaks and stuff just to make it absolutely perfect. Or maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you like to be the one that's sculpting the main timeline of the video and the flow and the pacing and that sort of thing. Whatever it is that you really enjoy doing when it comes to editing, this has been mostly about editing. Maybe you don't even like to edit. Maybe you like to be out there capturing stuff. Whatever it is that you like to do, the quicker you can expand your team and start working with people who they're focusing on their specialty, you're getting to focus on yours, it's a really, really great feeling. And yes, there's growing pains and like it takes a long time to kind of mesh on styles and all that sort of stuff. But when you get there, and I've experienced it and I've seen it happen with other people, it's something very beautiful, and you get to be in that flow state of work more, which is like kind of the goal, what we're all trying to do, right? Those are the 8 things. Hope that was helpful and encouraging, and yeah, thanks so much for being here.